What is the strongest Saiyan transformation? I feel like this question is asked so much when it comes to Xenoverse 2. Most will tell you, it's obviously Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. It's the strongest transformation we have from the anime. But is it really? You see, all the Saiyan transformations in Xenoverse 2 are actually meant to be strong based on the builds you make for them. If I use Super Vegeta on the right key build, I could say it's even stronger than Blue Evolution, because of how I structure the build itself as opposed to relying on the transformation to carry me in battle. I should mention now that I'm not insulting any of the transformations by saying Saiyan builds are strong, because the other race transformations have the ability to be stronger based on how you make them, but I'm saving that for a future video because Saiyans have so many transformations that they need their own video to dissect each of them. I should also mention, I'm testing all of these transformations with 125 in both Strike and Ki Supers, to show you how strong the transformations are with the strongest possible stats you can have. Also, as a reference, when I refer to physical attack, I am talking about Strike Supers and Basic Attack, and Ki damage is Ki Blast Supers as well as Ki Blast, because transforming does increase more than just your supers. So without further introduction, let's head in. We are going to start off with the easiest transformation to obtain, which is Super Saiyan. You can obtain Super Saiyan by going and training with Vegeta at the Capsule Corporation Time Distortion, and you have to face him and Goku where you can unlock the Awoken skill in battle. Super Saiyan has 3 levels: Super Saiyan at 3 key bars, Super Saiyan 2 at 4 key bars, and Super Saiyan 3 at 5 key bars. Each level affects your attack damage as well as other factors. I'll get into that in a second, but first I want to go over stats. When using Super Saiyan, you get a 10% increase in physical damage and a 5% increase in ki damage. On top of these power boosts, you get a 5% damage reduction from strikes and basic attacks from your opponent. However, there is a drawback, which is that you will gain ki 33% less from your attacks as well as their attacks. There is also a speed increase of 3% in ground and boost and a 1% increase in flying speed. I have seen some stats that say there is a 5% increase, but I'm going off of what my research tells me and what I found more saying it's the 3 and 1% increase. Now for Super Saiyan 2. You get a 5% increase in physical damage and a 7.5% increase in ki damage, with a 10% physical damage and 5% ki damage reduction from your opponent, and your ki regeneration is now 60% lower to obtain. You also gain a 7% increase in ground and boost speed and a 5% increase in speed and flight. If you can't tell by now by the way the boosts are growing, you can tell Super Saiyan favors physical damage over ki damage, which is also going to be very apparent with Super Saiyan 3. In Super Saiyan 3, you get a 20% increase in physical damage and a 10% increase in ki damage, with a 15% physical damage and a 10% ki damage reduction from your opponent's attacks, along with 11% speed increase in ground and boost and a 7% increase in flight. Now you might think Super Saiyan 3 is the best because it gives you the best boost, but it comes with a huge drawback of an 85% reduction of ki regeneration from attacks. To put it in simple terms, you're not getting ki anytime soon from your opponent or yourself. No matter how much damage you really put in, it's going to take too long for the battle to actually progress for you to actually get any type of ki. And some might say, well, this makes the form useless. But let me show you how you can make that negative effect almost non-existent in your character. So from what I said about the stats, you can obviously tell this build is best used with Strike Supers. But there is more to it than that. If you focus your stat points in Strike and Basic Attacks, along with the transformation, seeing you in Super Saiyan 3 looks like a death sentence to anyone. However, there is still the question of the massive ki reduction. To combat this, my recommendation is to use Burst Charge in your overall build of your character. Burst Charge allows you to recover ki at explosive rate, so between knockbacks you can use the charge to quickly recover ki and continue fighting. Just make sure you don't use it too long, as the charge slows down the longer you use it, but you can recover ki 2 to 3 ki bars by using it properly. There are a lot of good Super Souls, but I'm only going to tell you the ones I have used or I think are good with Super Saiyan, and that is the Ha Super Soul that activates ki auto recovery temporarily when you use a charge skill, as well as boosts melee and ki blast based skills by medium. Another good Super Soul is Goku the Legendary Super Saiyan, which boosts the strength of your melee attacks by large every time you transform. Super Saiyan is a classically good build for those looking to make Strike and Basic Attack in their build, as well as being overwhelmingly strong in up close and personal situations. Some might think Super Vegeta is the same as Super Saiyan, and to those that think that, watch closer because you could not be farther from the truth. While they have the same appearance, Super Vegeta is nothing like Super Saiyan, and I'll show you why in the stats. Also, to obtain Super Vegeta, you have to continue to train with Vegeta in Capsule Corp, and the last mission gives you Super Vegeta. While in Super Vegeta, you gain a 5% physical damage and 10% ki damage boost with a 5% ki damage reduction from opponent attacks. The speed boost and ki regeneration is also the same as Super Saiyan with a 3% in ground and boost and a 1% increase in flying speed, and you get 33% less ki from attacks. With Super Vegeta 2, you gain a 7% increase in physical damage and a 17.5% increase in ki damage with a 12.5% reduction in ki damage and 5% physical damage from opponent attacks, and the speed and ki regeneration is the same as Super Saiyan 2, with a gain of 7% in ground and boost speed, and a 5% speed in flight with ki regeneration 60% lower. It is apparent now that Super Vegeta is not like Super Saiyan, in the case of damage buffs where Super Vegeta gives more to ki damage than physical damage, making it the perfect transformation to use with ki supers and ultimates. The best course of action is using ki moves that damage the opponent from a distance, as it is likely your attacks can reach far. For stats and attribute points, my recommendation is focusing on ki supers and ki, because you are only as strong as the ki you have in your bars, so make sure you obtain as much of it as you can and release it within moderation. In Super Souls, there is a lot that affect and or rely on how much ki you have, so here are the ones I chose. I Am Super Vegeta is a Super Soul that grants you a large boost in Ki Blast skills while in Super Saiyan, which, by the way, I should mention all Super Souls that involve Super Saiyan being activated apply to all the Super Saiyan transformations, not just the Super Saiyan Awoken skill. Another good Super Soul is This Heat Will Be Your Downfall, where a successful Just Guard boosts the Ki restored to extra large. Super Vegeta is a transformation for those Ki Blast mains that like to be deadly at a distance and overpower their opponents by absorbing more Ki than they can dish out. Future Super Saiyan is a more complicated case when it comes to builds. It's really less about favoring strike over Ki, but more about how you can use speed, stamina, and convenience to your advantage. To obtain Future Super Saiyan, you have to beat the last mission in the story mode with Future Gohan, and to unlock that mission, you have to beat the one before, which is the Bardock mission, and obtain 5 distorted eggs from the Time Rifts by completing their challenges. The stats for Future Super Saiyan are like a mixture of Super Vegeta and Super Saiyan 2. 15% increase in physical damage and a 10% increase in ki damage with a 35% decrease in ki regeneration on hits and a speed increase of 3% in ground and boost and a 1% increase in flying speed. Now comes the interesting part. There is no damage resistance buffs on this transformation. However, there is a stamina regeneration buff of 15% on this Awoken skill. This is why Future Super Saiyan is less about attack and more about damage over time. Like I said before, damage over time. Future Super Saiyan may be a little bit stronger than Super Saiyan or Super Vegeta, but using it is not about overwhelming an opponent. My recommendation is putting your attribute points into stamina and basic attack, and splitting the rest between Ki Blast and Strike Supers, and to give you more of an edge in fighting with a hybrid fighting style. Remember, it's less about damaging your opponent in big attacks, and more about being faster and hitting them and keeping them at arm's length as to outmaneuver them in battle. You should also run a counter like Godbreaker or Super God Shock Flash, so that if an opponent happens to catch up, no matter at what angle they hit you, you can send them back into being behind you in speed. For Super Souls, you can go one of two ways. Boost attacks to give you more of a damage increase, or maximize your speed through stamina. I'd recommend either the Ultimate Power is Mine, which is a Super Soul that always boosts all attacks by medium, or the Super Soul You've Awakened My True Power, which will always grant your stamina recovery speed by XL, and when you transform, boost all abilities by a small amount. Remember, speed and agility is your friend when using Future Super Saiyan. Attacking your opponent and wearing them out is the key to win a fight with it. Use your stamina within reason and stockpile your ki, so if you have the chance to stamina break, you can ultimate and tip the fight in your favor. Now comes the tricky part, Super Saiyan Blue. Now, you guys might think this transformation is the strongest we've discussed so far, but I can guarantee you that it is more complicated than just transforming. Super Saiyan Blue can be unlocked by reaching level 90 and having a max relationship with Whis as an instructor, and then going to him to get the form, and this is rightfully hard to get, because the transformation itself is more for experienced players. Super Saiyan Blue gives you 25% attack damage overall, which includes Ki Blast Supers, Strike Supers, Basic Attack, and Normal Ki Blast, with a 12% damage reduction overall as well from opponents. There is also a stamina recovery of 30%, and Ki regeneration is down 40%, and the speed is increased to 11% in ground and boost, and 7% in flight. Now I know you're thinking, this sounds incredible, and you want to stop the video and pop open the game to begin a week's worth of Monster Energy and Doritos grind on this game, but keep watching. The one thing you need to realize is that this form also drains your ki. So now that you know what the form has to uphold, let me tell you how you can still use it without suffering from the drain too much. The best case scenario is you dump your points into Ki and Basic Attack and dump whatever points you don't need into Stamina, because the point of this build is to strike hard and buy yourself enough time to charge and keep your form going. You should definitely include a charge in this build, whether it be Burst Charge to keep you going at the edge of losing Ki, or Maximum Charge to gain Ki at a fixed rate. These Super Souls are actually ones we've already mentioned, which is the Ha Super Soul, granting Ki Auto Recovery temporarily when you use a charge skill, as well as boost melee and Ki Blast based skills by medium, and the Super Soul, this heat will be your downfall, where a successful Just Guard boosts the Ki restoration to extra large. I want to use other Super Souls, but these by far help Super Saiyan Blue by keeping your Ki from depleting as much as possible. Like I said before, Super Saiyan Blue is for more experienced players. You need to hit hard and hit fast, and find openings to charge and keep your form going while the fight is still going on. Now comes the white whale of our selection, Super Saiyan Blue Evolved. You can obtain this form by having a max relationship with Whis and Vegeta and reaching level 95 and then visiting Whis to obtain the form. This form has some of the strongest stats in Xenoverse 2, definitely passing over more than just Saiyan transformations, but like Super Saiyan Blue, the cost for power is quite expensive. I couldn't find much when it comes to stats with this transformation, but what I could find was that there was a 35% increase to all attacks and a 10% reduction to all attacks from opponents. I can't confirm this either, but since Super Saiyan Blue has this, I think it's safe to assume that Super Saiyan Blue Evolution has a stamina recovery speed somewhere between 30% to 35%. Just like Super Saiyan Blue, it also has a Ki Drain, but the difference is this one is much quicker, emptying a bar of Ki around 5 seconds. Now, you might say you should use the same type of build like Super Saiyan Blue, and you are both right and wrong. You should still put your points into Ki and Basic Attack, along with putting the rest in whatever main you are with, Strike and or Ki Supers. But there is one loophole you can use to give yourself the edge, and not only eliminate the Ki Drain, but actually give yourself Ki Auto Recovery. There is only one Super Soul I could recommend for this build. You could use the other two I mentioned for SSB, but they are not nearly as effective as the Super Soul. This is everything I've got. This Super Soul temporarily activates Ki Auto Recovery when you transform into Super Saiyan Blue Evolved for roughly about 30 seconds, and it only is used once. This makes you like a walking fortress, with you being able to fight at your full power while at the same time gaining Ki without needing to worry. Like Super Saiyan Blue, SSB Evolved is for experienced players, especially if you use the Super Soul I recommend, because you need to be quick to think with your actions, because you can tip the fight in your favor simply by transforming. So after debating and presenting all the evidence to you, it's time for me to reveal what is the strongest Saiyan transformation in Xenoverse 2, and that is Super Saiyan 3. Yeah, I know I'm going to get hate in the comments for multiple scenarios, both before and after I explain my reasoning, but let's actually get into why I believe Super Saiyan 3 is the best option. Reason number 1, Ki regeneration. Super Saiyan 3 has the worst Ki regen debuff out of all the Saiyan transformations, minus Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Blue Evolved, because of their Ki drain. Super Saiyan 3 may prevent Ki from being obtained, but at least it doesn't drain it, and run the risk of detransforming. and the perk is all I need to do is equip a charge to solve that issue. Reason number 2. Boost. If everyone paid attention, Super Saiyan 3 had the biggest boost in general to your attack, with 20% to strike supers and basic attack, while Super Vegeta 2 only went as high as 17.5% with Ki Blast supers and Ki Blast. Sure, the 2.5% loss in damage is made up for in the damage reduction from Ki damage, but that doesn't change much from the overwhelming difference in the power versus resistance in your builds, so I'd rather be full on doing double the damage of a Super Saiyan than have a little bit more than double of their resistance. Reason 3. Having other options. I say I prefer Super Saiyan 3, but at the same time I'm actually picking Super Saiyan as a Awoken skill, which is the best option for a variety in fighting. I don't have to immediately go into Super Saiyan 3 with every fight. I can slowly build myself up as needed by transforming into Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2, giving me more damage with less drawback. By doing this, I can assess my opponent's fighting technique without absorbing as much damage, and I can still dish out a fair amount myself. And if need be, I go Super Saiyan 3 to go full power in a fight. So that's my opinion. Super Saiyan 3 all the way to victory. What are your thoughts on the transformations? Are your choices different than mine? Leave a comment down below and I will do my best to read and take in what you guys think. Also, leave which transformation you believe is best. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this helped with any questions you might have about Saiyan transformations in Xenoverse 2. I will make your day a little bit better, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!